Good afternoon. Well, only just 1 o'clock on Saturday, the 26th of July. Where is the time going? I've got you propped up today, so I've got my hands free. I know I'm a few minutes early, so I'll wait for a few of you to join me. And then we're just going to do a quickie little demo using the Christmas grunge collection today. We've got a few, and I haven't bought my iPad, so I'm hoping that my phone plays nicely and shows me the comments. So we've got a few joining, which is good. I can see Lisa's with us. Hi, Lisa. Yes. So Paul's been having a little bit of a move around. We've got new products being listed next week. We've got new launches next week as well. So a busy week next week. I've also got, I'm at Hobby Maker on Tuesday at 4 and 8 with the new Marlene collection. So yeah, it's a busy one. Okay, I'm looking at a space. We've got a few on. I know because the time's been changed, there might not be many watching us live, but that's fine because it will get uploaded to YouTube as normal later on, and it can be watched on catch up. It can also be watched on catch up on this page too. I'll tag it up to featured. So this was a request. I can't remember who requested it. I'm trying to remember. My brain isn't going to work. No, somebody asked for some more inspiration using the Christmas grunge collection. So I know I'm still early because it's not even 1 o'clock yet, but I'm going to flip the camera and show you the collection that I'm going to be using. So this is the Christmas grunge. We've got a couple of A5 stencils. There's a couple of DL stencils. There's a beautiful slimline die with the stars down the side, which I absolutely would use all year round. There's this lovely little die set here that's got some trees and little tags and a nice little griddage piece on there. We've got some DL stamps with music in the background, and then we've got stars and a bit of griddage. Then we've got a couple of nice little, this is the demo that I did last time using this little truck, and then you've got the beautiful little train and the rocking horse, and then you've got that lovely row of trees, and also the Christmas post one. And then this gorgeous paper pad, some really nice bits from there. So I'm going to use some of the paper pad. I'm going to use some of the stamps and dies and maybe stencils as well. So, let's have a little look. I've just had to stand up. No comments are coming through at the minute. We'll see what happens when I sit down. For those of you, I'm just going to be careful how I spin the camera because I've got stuff that you can't see, and that's not me teasing. Coming up, I'm going to be doing a little storage solution for these little babies, maybe next week. We're back in stock. The Tidal Teal now is back in, so all of the sprinkles are in stock, as are the metallic inks, which if you love inking through stencils and you haven't got metallic inks yet, I absolutely would highly recommend these because they look divine, and I'm going to use the Sunshine Yellow today. So I'm going to come around this way and we'll click you in here, and then we'll see if we've got any questions before I flip the camera. I don't know, it's going to give it me. Let's put my glasses on. All mine says is Lisa Wells is watching about 20 times. Ah, there we go. We've got comments. Brilliant. Hi to Yvonne and Joan and Bev. I wonder what time it is there. Good evening. It is still evening in Australia. And there's Leslie as well. Sorry if I haven't called your name out, but I'm just going by what's coming up on my phone. So good evening. do show us hate secrets. Haha, I can on Tuesday. We've got a Julie Hickey launch on Wednesday. That's one not to be missed. There is also, I'll tell you what it is, some new product coming from Creative Expressions. So some really nice different bits and pieces there as well. So yeah, lots coming up. We try to keep up with everything, which is hard sometimes, but we do our best. So I'm going to flip you and then we'll get started. Let's get it in the right position first. Uh-oh. So this is the card that I made on the first live that I did using the grunge collection. And I've got some glossy effect on there. So this time, because I use stamps on this one, this time I'm going to have it, it's going to be more paper involved. Oh, that is fabulous, Shani. I know what you'll be doing this afternoon. Brilliant. I'm so pleased. So, yes, that was the Charming Autumn. We've still got a few. I know we're out of stock of a couple of items. We're down to the last couple of bundles, and then there's some separate pieces. So if Charming Autumn was on your tick list, yeah, we'll see if we can get more, but I'm not certain what quantities we can get. Right, so I went through here. I'm being organised-ish. And I've picked out a few different pieces of paper that I want to use. Now, this one here, I really liked this image, and I thought I'm going to cut that out. And you know how I love cutting out in front of people, so I've gone ahead and I have cut that out ready. Okay. I'm not going to show you what we're making, although I have laid it out. You might have seen a little sneaky peek when my camera flipped around, but I'm going to kind of keep it as a surprise. So I've got these bits of paper here. I'm going to start off. That's going to be my background. And I'm going to do this one as a little frame. So let's just make sure I cut it to the right size. Should be 20 centimetres. Which it is, but I'm going to have to go and just tidy that off in my guillotine now, because it was such a tiny little sliver. That it furred me edge. Okay. So when the paper comes out of the pad, it's just short of 20.5 centimetres. So I'm going to keep this piece that size, and I've cut this one down to 20 centimetres. So I've got a little border all the way around. It is small, but I know it's there. And then I've just nicked a little bit of card out of the middle of there because I've cut some trees, but I'll come to that in a minute. What I want to do is cut a little frame. So I'm going to go onto my trimmer and I'm going to go put, this is going to be, I'm going to do it a little bit lower so that you can see. Here's the cut line of my trimmer, and then you've got measurements on the right and the left. I'm going to use them past the cut line and explain why I do that. Okay, so I want to put my edge on 2.5, and by doing that I've got a real nice straight piece because I've got this little ridge that goes along. If I was to do it this side, I haven't got as much, it doesn't feel as secure. So that's when all of a sudden you might get a wonky cut because you've not got as much to butt it up to. So that's why I use it to the right of the cut line where I can. And I'm going to slide this so it's on 2.5. I'm going to set my tool on 2.5, and I'm going to cut from 2.5 down to 17.5. And I'm going to rotate that around and do that on every side. So 17.5 up to 2.5. Just repeat. And that will give me a perfect little frame to layer on my card. Okay, so when I lay that onto there, I've got that beautiful deep red. Now where I can see it, I don't know if you can, some little rudgy white bits, I'll get rid of that. I'll show you how to do that. So then I've got this beautiful kind of tartan piece, and it's all from the same pad. We've got it in there. I'm going to cut another frame to go on top of there. Now, when you're at home, if you haven't done this before, it can be quite daunting. So I know I want it to be smaller. This measures 20. I know I need to cut this to 19.5 centimetres. And it needs to be square, so I'll do that on 2 edges. So just to show you, when I put that on, I'll have a nice little border all the way around. Now I also need a border on this side. This was 2.5, so I know that when I cut the next one, I need to reduce that down to 2, and that should give me a border either side. So pop that onto 2, start at 2, and take that down to 17.5. And the bits that fall out of the middle, keep those because you can use them on another card. So just keep going round. 17.5. And the last one. There we go. So that should be all of my cutting done. Don't need that bit. And these strips are good to keep because they're good for little pieces going across the card as well. So I've got my 3 pieces, and then out of the bit that falls out of the middle, with this set, there's a lovely Christmas tree. I've cut one of those. I've also cut one of the little grids. I've done 2 of those actually. And I've cut another couple of trees with a slightly different shade of green as well. So those elements are all cut ready. And I've got this piece that I cut from one of the sheets of card as well. Now, I've got myself a little bit of Media Artist card. And I'm going to go into... So this one says Happy Holidays, and I've stamped it down here. In the other set, in this one, you've got a really nice little Merry Christmas. I'm going to grab that one out and just going to stamp that down. Just pop that on. There's a fly flapping around my head. Stick that back in, and then I'm going to use these 2 dies to line up because they cut these out perfectly. So I will need a little bit of tape to take them down. This is perfect. Oopsie. That's that one. And it is worth making sure you've got them lined up perfectly. Just going to spin around and cut those out. I like to get all of the elements that I need out and cut ready. So I'm also going to be using this, which is Snow Effect. Really great for just adding a little bit of texture and white around the edges. So there is my gorgeous little tag, and then I've got a little extra ticket as well. So those are them. And I love in these little sets that we have the matching die. So in here, there's another ticket one and another ticket. This little die here cuts out, this is like Santa's Toy Factory. So it's nice that you've got the matching dies to go with some of the elements. I'm falling behind. Look, I normally have a magnetic sheet on these. Haven't got round to it yet. Okay. So I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. I'm just going to move them along a bit so that this is on one and it takes away that shine. That's good. Okay. So I'm going to take the starry background stencil and the sunrise yellow metallic ink pad. Just going to grab some ink on a brush. I'm just going to put some random stars in the background. And that is so that when the card's moved, you'll see this really gorgeous, I'm going to see if I can catch it in the light. There you go. Gorgeous metallic shine stars in the background. And I just think it adds a little something. Subtle, but beautiful. It doesn't have to be all over, but I'm just going to do some random. We'll go like that. There we go. And then we've got a really nice covering of stars. So that's with the stencil. And then in the stamp sets, there's a really nice little bit of script here. If I grab that, I'll probably just tap. Oh, I've got to get this. Let me just see what way up it is. Right, that's the top. Okay. So I'm just going to randomly stamp this script coming across the page and maybe down. The style that the script is, it really, it's really hard to see that. It just joins up perfectly. There we go. I might even extend it out a little bit more over here. A lot of it will get covered, but I'm quite... there we go. Whew, a swoosh. So there's a little bit of script. We've also got some of these little Christmas postmark stamps. So we'll have a with love in there. Maybe up there. I don't know if you'll see it, so I'm just putting some random because my frame's going to be going over the top of it. And then there's also a lovely little snowflake. And these are little tapping stamps. You don't have to press hard. There we go. Yeah, that'd be fine. And I'm just going to bring this frame in just so that I can see. That's exactly what I will be seeing of it. So little snippets of different elements. Now what I probably do want to do as well is have a little bit of that script on this piece, like so, and maybe a bit of a postmark and a snowflake, just to kind of continue. There we go. That'd be fine. Look at my fingers already. Let's see how we're doing. Hi, Wendy. In fact, the time there's Helen as well. That even though I've come on early, it hasn't affected. We've still got plenty of you on. Right then. let's start with, where's my brown ink? Right, I'm going to grab walnut stain because I want to get rid of any little bits of white that are showing from where I cut the card. And I feel like just using a little bit of walnut stain, or it doesn't have to be walnut stain, it can be any brown. It makes it a little bit more vintage, if I'm honest, and it just grunges it up a bit and covers those white bits. So I'm just making sure that I'm going around the edges and any little fluffy bits of white are being hidden. Okay. So I'm going to now do the same for this green one. This has got a little bit more white. If I had forest moss with me, maybe I could use that colour. But no, I haven't. So I'm going to stick with the brown. You'll only see a little bit of this. And I'm going to join these two together. Now, providing that I have been careful when I've cut it, it shouldn't matter which way round I stick this. It should be 100% square. But we'll soon find out when I go to stick it down. Okay, and just lift that up because I've got to slide it into place. Sometimes, I mean, I don't know why, sometimes it just sits better one way. It sits better one way than it does another. And if you put it down and you look at it and you think, oh, well, that border's wider, then just give it a little trim and it'll be fine. Okay, but I'm happy with that. Now, also, in these stamp sets, there's a fab little 25 there. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to put a lovely little 25 up in that corner. And there's also a really nice little, it's a date stamp. And if I bring this in, just going to stamp it on there. 25th of the 12th, 2025. I think that looks quite cool. It's a tiny, tiny stamp, but I really like it. There we go. Right, anything else I can stamp? Let's bring in this tree. We'll add in a little bit of detail from the Music DL. That gives that really nice little print on there. Happy with that one. Now, the other trees are a little bit darker, so I don't really see... No, I'm not going to do that. But I'll tell you what I could do. Tumbling Stars. What about if I stamp that in yellow? Just a few random. Yeah, that works. I don't know if you can see it. There we go. It's just to have something subtle in the background. Where did I get it from? There we go. I should really have cleaned that, but hey ho. Now, I do need a bit of kitchen towel. Clean. Now, because of the size of the card, I need a 21 centimetre card. So I have made my own from Media Artist Card. And that looks a little bit something like... Oh, don't fall off there. Nearly dropped all my dies. my library of word dies. Okay, so I've got a nice base. All I did was A4 sheet of card. I scored it at 21 and then I cut a 21 centimetre square to stick inside. So that gives us that with a little panel down the back. So I'm going to add this one on. Okay. Got that. Let's just check we are okay. Just seeing the live notification. Hi, Jackie. Yeah, that's cool. Right then. So this frame I want to attach onto here, but I want to raise it. So I'm going to get my trusted foam pads, which are around somewhere. Here they are. Look, I'm going to need a new roll soon. They do last a long time. Let's just pop these on. I'm not being tight with them, look, because I don't want any saggy bits. That made me chuckle. Okay, that should be enough for now. I will take those off. What are we all doing today? It's been a bit of a soggy morning here, but it does look like it's brightening up. So hopefully, it'll be nice dog walking weather. Right, so when I lay this down, I want to try and get an equal border. Around the edges, but that just gives me a little bit of dimension by raising that on the pads. I'm loving the reds together. I'm loving the shine from the stars as well. Now then, we've got this little, I might have to just take a little bit of that off so I can tuck it under because of where I've put my foam pads. Right, yep, that'll fit in there. Let's get some more foam pads. Now, what's that? Oh, we've got a few comments coming through, and do you have the black ink pad with the lid attached for sale, or is it an old one? It is absolutely an old one. I'll tell you what happened. Many years ago when I used to do the workshops in the shop, I used to supply the inks, and I've got a stack of them, and I thought, do you know what, I need to go through and use all of the ink up from them, and these are them. So that's why I've got it. Now, before I stick this down, that's what I was going to do. I want to... Now, I like to take the end off. Bang it out. So, snowy effect, or effect snow. It's got like a grit in it. And you can go round and you can use your finger. You can use a paintbrush, a blending brush. I just want to add a little bit of white around the edges. I almost like to use it as a gilding wax. It's one of my favourite products. I'm not going to lie to you. So just flicking that along. so now I can tuck that in, she says. Right, get that in there and down at the same time. Right, so I don't want my pads to catch. The easy way to do it is just put a little bit of glue on it. And then hopefully that should slide where I want it, which it does. Look at that. All right, just tucking that slightly under that frame and over the top of this one. There we go. Notice what I've done now. Got my snowy effect on the corner. So there's my first bit down. And then I might just add little bits of the snow effect around these grids. And we'll have some glue. Might put that one up there. Just to add a little bit detail on that corner. Little froggy. Same sort of thing for the trees. I just want a little bit of, I don't know why I'm doing it over there so you can't see it. Okay, that one. Same on this one. So what I can do is pop that one in there. In fact, if I get my scissors, chop the bottom off, I can get that a bit lower. Oh, don't get that everywhere. Like I have. Just tapping that around, getting a little bit of white on. And then I'm going to try and clean my hands. Did that one. Wet here too. Making a couple of birthday cards. Fabulous. Hi there. I missed what ink you use for the stars. Kim dear, it was the Sunrise Yellow Jamie Rogers ink. And it's metallic, so it looks fabulous. Just bear with me 1 minute, everyone. Are you okay?
Are you teaching?
I'm doing a live.
No, it's just tacky glue.
Tacky glue, yep. It is. It's this one here. All put. That one.
It's for gluing together suede and leather.
It will stick suede and leather.
Lovely.
It's just a PVA glue.
And it's acid.
That one.
Right, I'll have one of those then.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't want to keep you from your...
No, that's fine. It's 4:50 then, please. Cash or card? There you go. There you go. Thank you. Thanks very much. Bye-bye. I ran all the way up the shop then. Right, so now I'm going to put foam pad on there. tuck that in. And then foam pads on this one as well. Putting plenty on just so that they don't wrinkle. Answered Kim's question. That, love watching. Oh, thank you. Brilliant. Right, here's our last tree. This one is the one that we've stamped using that metallic ink. Now that needs a double pad. There you go. Now it's the same height. Because we've got that on a pad, it just levels that out perfectly. Okay, so we've got a base. Let's have a little look now. I've got some more grid. Maybe I could have some grid on here. Again, just add in a touch of white onto it. And then I can stick that on like so. Right. Maybe. See, this could poke, could have it like a ticket, but would that niggle me? You know I'm a funny one. Let's get one of, and I quite like the fact that that's crispy white because it matches my outside. I think what I'll do is just pop that on and see what I think. Poke. There, and oh, thank you, Karen. I might have that one on this corner. Now, I'm going to bring in the one that I sat and made this morning because it is the same, but can you see, I've just got my brown brush and dusted it over to make it more sepia. So you do have that choice, whether do you want to keep it crispy white or do you want the browner tone on it. It's a hard one. Both looks nice. But yeah, let's have a little look. Now, another option, I've gone in and I've just used the grunge collection because that's what I decided I was going to demo with. But don't forget our Christmas sentiments, which look like this. This set has just come back into stock and is available on the website. You've got Merry Christmas, Season's Greetings, Winter, Peace on Earth, Joy, Noel and Bright. And there's plenty of room up there that you could have Merry Christmas. You could even have Happy New Year if you wanted to. Because we've also got the addition of an alphabet so you can make your own words up. And we've still got some more sets to come soon, very soon. Got to be careful how I open that. Yes, not that one. But it's on the, I can tell you on the next set, you might get a word that you need. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. I love the shine, the subtle stars in the background, inking through with that metallic ink. I just think it suits it so well. So I hope you've enjoyed the live. If you've got any questions, shout out. I'll answer them. Let's flip you around so I can see you. And I can tell you I will be back on, what time day did I say? Thursday. I think I'm back on Thursday. Yes, I will be back on Thursday for a live. And I will be using Julie Hickey's new Christmas launch. TV on Tuesday, 4 and 8. Marlene, Art by Marlene, new collection. And yeah, that's what we made. I'll take a picture of it and add it on, and I'll add all of this to YouTube when I get home. I've got a few errands to do, that's why I'm finishing early. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it.
Have a lovely rest of your weekend, everybody, and I'll catch up with you next week. Ta-ra! Bye!